Recorded live.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation or around the world. Once again, you are listening to the VMware Community's Roundtable Podcast. This is podcast number 536. My name is Eric Nelson. With me today, I have my regular co-host, Matt Lungeth. Matt, how you doing today?
Eric, I'm here. It's the last week of November. We've made it through it. I haven't seen the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse as of yet, so it's the best that we can possibly wish for. But how are you, sir? How are things out there, and what's the color of the bay?
Well, the color of the bay is dark green. It is cold and wintry and choppy here in the Bay Area. Cold by definition, I mean, to your standards, it's not snowing here, but it is in the 50s and in the 40s at night, and it is rainy and chilly, so muddy, and we get about a half winter, so the leaves in the trees, about half of the trees lose their leaves, and the other half are kind of like tropical trees that don't. So it's kind of a blend between the north and the south. But it is typical weather for this time, and we're coming up to the Thanksgiving holiday, which in the United States is tomorrow, which I guess we should say the date here today is Wednesday, November 24th. And so there you go. It is beautiful weather from a standpoint of it being in the Bay Area. And in Pennsylvania, what's it like for you?
It's not too bad. It's for November. It's relatively warm, so we've been in the 40s and 50s this week. No real any snow accumulation so far this month, which is odd. We usually have our first snowfall sometime in November, and by snowfall I mean something that's accumulated on the ground so that you could either shovel or broom it off, and we haven't seen that yet. So it's cold, but not freezing, if that makes any sense. So I'll take what I can get.
Take what you can get. Well, as we come into the holiday season and the winter time, it's good to shelter in and spend a little time learning about new tech. I know during the holiday season, I'm always looking for projects. I always like to go get software, download, educate myself, whatever. So we thought we would do a show today on the Black Friday, or is it Black Friday and Cyber Monday, right? So talk a little bit about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then also talk about a carbon black deal that is going on, I think, you have to register by December 22nd, and it's going to go through April. So if you're running vSphere, you can learn about Carbon Black and go in there and get some software for free and learn how to secure your virtual machine. So we're going to talk about that as well. But before we get to the sales for the holiday season as well as Carbon Black, let's do a little bit of the news, shall we? So news-wise, VMware announced earnings yesterday, and according to the VMware gods, we're only allowed to talk about earnings for maybe 5 or 6 days after we announce earnings. Then it's not supposed to be a news item any longer. And we're not supposed to do hyper-analyzing anything, but I would say we announced earnings and we beat expectations on the profitability side. So I'm happy about that. Matt, we can't go wrong if we're doing okay.
Now, beat earnings, and definitely that we saw a quite a substantial jump year over year in SaaS subscriptions. And so as we have, no news there really that VMware as a whole is transitioning over to more of a SaaS model, and the fruition of that is coming to bear. So we've seen a giant lift in the overall SaaS subscription and services model and the profitability therefrom.
Yeah, and to some degree, I think this is a licensing model that applies to all software that's being purchased these days. You're being purchased on a kind of a SaaS service consumption-based license versus a CPU license, right? In the old days, it was like how many CPUs you had in your data center. Now it's more of you're signing up, you're getting a certain amount of software services. Either you're running those services on your own prem or you're running them in the cloud, right? But it's a SaaS license from the standpoint of a service license, right? Which is kind of different than just a pure, I'm running it in the cloud play, because SaaS revenue can come from on-prem products as well. It's just how you're licensing those on-prem products.
Absolutely. I mean, it's more, I think, reflective of what we're seeing with more modern workloads, right? That the idea of this burstable workload As you know, we had talked about holiday sales. So for a retailer that needs that capacity, whether that be on premises or for their cloud workloads, and they need to license up through a quarter to meet that demand and then scale back. Obviously, those SaaS type models are a little bit more intuitive to do it that way rather than buying some type of perpetual license where you're stuck with it and paying for it for an extended period of time.
Right, right. So all in all, happy. I think my main goal for 2020 has been to stay alive. Right, don't die. Right, it's a good goal for me. And then the second goal is to stay employed if I can. Right, or at least don't lose too much money throughout all of 2020. Right, like try to make a living. Right, those are my two goals. And then I have children, so I apply those same goals to my children, right? So far, knock on cheap particle board, I am making those goals. So good to Pat Kelsinger and the crew and everybody that works hard in the ecosystem. This has been just one of those years. And as we enter the holiday season, Sanjay Poonen sent out mail saying, thank everybody, take some time, be thankful that, in the old days, Thanksgiving was about doing enough harvesting of food that you could make it through the wintertime, right? And to that end, we have managed to announce earnings. We did harvest enough productivity to probably make it through the wintertime. And now we can all take a moment and be thankful for that, right? And I think Sanjay Poonen reached out to everybody at VMware to say the same thing, which is let's be thankful that we all still are alive, one, and then two, hopefully we have some way to make a living as we march forward. So that's news.
Sure.
Yep.
To be profitable and grow year over year in a situation that we have been in throughout this pandemic in a global setting is, I think it speaks to the company as a whole. It speaks to the management, speaks to the leadership, obviously, that we're able to accomplish this and put out tremendous numbers in a situation that's definitely rife with adversity and a lot of challenges.
Yeah, and it also says that our strategy, right, Kubernetes on vSphere, I think that's a really solid strategy, any app, anywhere, kind of the cloud strategy, the hybrid cloud strategy, and the Kubernetes strategy that sits in the vSphere land, I think is pretty good, meeting the needs of the market as we move forward. You can see modern apps are going to be important. You see hybrid clouds going to be important, but then vSphere on-prem is also still going to be important. So not abandoning everything, but kind of staying solid with the core technologies, and then growing that, and then making key acquisitions in areas that are going to be technically hard to accomplish. Right, network security. We've done some great acquisitions there. So all in all, strategically, pretty solid year for us. So happy about that. I did talk to Corey Romero mentioning vExperts. The vExpert applications are open. And so the month of November is when that opens. You could go in and apply. We've talked about that every show. So we appreciate it.
Need to reinforce the idea that if you were a current year vExpert, even if you had just picked up your 2020 vExpert within the mid-summer round, if you will, you absolutely need to apply. In other words, if you're a current vExpert and you wish to get vExpert certification or designation, I should say, for 21, you must reapply. There is no exemption for that right now. All current vExperts must reapply during this period.
Yes. And I went to vexpert.vmware.com, and I can confirm that applications are open. The application button is live. I think it went live about a week ago, and then somehow the button got reverted back to off. And I know that Mr. Corey Romero has fixed that because I'm on the site right now, and it is live. So if you want to go get your application in, go do that. And as always, we talked about the fact that 2020 was an interesting year, not a lot of opportunity to get out to events. There's just a lot of online stuff. So I think we will be forgiving to people that had their 2019 award, that the 2020 award will absolutely be there. And I think it's actually called 2021. I'm not sure it's 2020. I think you get the award for 2021 where you're a vExpert.
Right. It will be the award for 21, sure, for activities in 2020. Correct.
Absolutely. So that's what's in the news there. So if you've got some time during the holiday season, go work on your app. Don't let it till January 15th or whatever when the apps close, because then you're going to be scrambling to get your app done. And we get a lot of apps every year that get denied because there's one line in there that says, I've been a vExpert every year. I should be a vExpert this year, right?
Reach out to your vExpert pros if you have questions.
That's right. Then just to reiterate, there's vExpert pros in every country on the globe now, usually except for some of the really small ones. And so if you have a vExpert pro in your country, speaks your language, can help you learn how to become a vExpert if you aren't one already. We have blogs. We have RSS streams for your blogs. We promote blogs. We do paid social on vExpert content. We have vExpert subgroups. You can join a subgroup if you're qualified, and then you can get NDA briefings. We do some overall NDA briefings as well. So it's just a way for you to up your game as a content producer, right? And people ask me, like, what's the difference between the Influencer 100 program that we run that tags influencers versus the vExpert program? vExpert's primarily focused on content producers, right? What have you produced for the community? What have you shared with the community? Do you answer questions on vmtn.com or VMTN on VMware.com? Do you go to vMugs and help users, right? Do you do presentations? It's the content production award that you're really getting. You're getting rewarded and recognized as a contributor to the V community for producing content, no matter what level you're at, right? And so,
sure, the makers, the builders, the architects,
right? Exactly. Where when we talk about the Influencer 100, which is one of these days, so we're gonna get everybody together and talk about that. The Influencer 100 is a club that if you're influencing a large number of people, you might even be a spammer, right? I don't know, right? We don't generally reward spammers, but Influencer 100, you have to have 20,000 followers, and it's not about you creating the content; it's about you getting that content out in channels. And so we look at how many followers you have and how much of your content is shared. And it might not even be your content. You could just be doing interviews. You could be creating content. You could be resharing other people's content, but you're a influencer from the standpoint of you have reach. And so the Influencer 100 program is about the reach that you're getting, and maybe you're hyper focused on your reach. And if you're hyper focused on your reach, an example of this is people that are on the advocacy.vmware.com website. We invite all the experts to be a member of the advocacy.vmware.com community. And what that is it's streams of content. Most of the content is harvested by our social channels, but also we get content submitted from people. And then people that are on that tool will retweet, will share, and you can automatically configure like 15 different channels, Weibo, WeChat, all kinds of channels, and you can share that content. You're not actually creating the content. You're just sharing that content. And so the Influencer 100 partly is a reward program for the advocacy.vmware.com platform where you got these hyper sharers out there sharing content. And some people ask me like, well, that's not fair. They shouldn't get an award if all they're doing is sharing, they're not creating. And I like to, kind of differentiate the vExpert program. That's why it's called Expert. You're creating valuable content for the community. The Influencer 100, you're just sharing content. You're sharing, and that gets content out. And a lot of the experts submit their content onto the advocacy platform. And these hyper sharers that end up on the leaderboard on that platform, they're just going in every day, sharing, and they get followers, and they share on their channels. And we want to do a reward for them on the advocacy platform. We actually would do semi-yearly prizes for the top 20 that are on that leaderboard. And we were giving away, Star Wars helmets and weird gifts. We would spend about $1,000 on the top 10 and another 1,000 on the last, maybe the last 30. And then we started realizing that we were just giving away dumb stuff that really people didn't want. And so what we wanted to do was create a club that if you're on that 100 leaderboard, right, in the advocacy where you're sharing like crazy, that we could actually invite you in, and then you would be in this club over the course of a 3-year period. And And we also expanded it to include people that aren't on advocacy so that we can use TalkWalker to look at other large sharers that are sharing content. And TalkWalker actually stack ranks people and their amounts of followers and shares and reach. And so we actually have two tools, Advocacy and TalkWalker, that do that. So that's VExpert. It's out there. You're a contributor. Influencer 100 is about just sharing. We'll bring Noel Greer on the show one of these days and talk about that program. So if you're really interested in that, we can do that. So we've covered VExperts. We've talked a little bit about influencer. Last thing in the news, VMTN. So VMTN, vmtn.vmware.com is our community platform. It's a sharing platform where you can share, articles, documents, as well as forum posts, talk about things that are happening in your world, in forum posts, answer questions, engage with people. We actually created coffee houses. I think there are like 10 different coffee houses now, and people are starting to join those. So thank you very much for people that are joining those. We love all the feedback we've gotten on the new community platform. It is a faster platform for sure now.
Yeah, we've talked about the upgrade in previous episodes, Eric. How's that going? How's the upgrade coming along? Is that complete? Is there still bugs out there? What have we seen so far?
People ask me like, hey, are you having a good Thanksgiving week? Are you going to take some downtime? And I've answered several people in mail like, I'm having a great week because I have free time to go work on VMTN, which is almost a hobby for me. Community and sharing I like to do as just kind of like what I like. It's my hobby. And this is a moment where I get like a week of time here this Thanksgiving week to actually work on VMTN. So we've still moved a couple other communities onto the platform. There were a couple odd ones, like we have a community on VMTN called Install Builder. Have you ever heard of Install Builder, Matt?
I can't say I have. Well, what is it?
Neither had I. And so when we moved VMTN, somehow the Install Builder community did not come over, right? They got dropped in a missing node bucket, which is where we didn't let go of any content when we migrated over. But if we didn't have a destination for content, it could end up in the missing node area. And so their content. But Install Builder is a product that VMware has. Weirdly enough, if you go to VMware.com and you look up Install Builder, it's not even on the VMware.com website, right? It doesn't exist.
Installbuilder.com, it looks like.
Yeah, you can go to installbuilder.com. And my take is, and I could be wrong on this, is that Install Builder is an open source product like Linux, and then different companies make versions of it. So VMware has a version of Install Builder, right, that you can make installers for your products, right? And I think it came over to us. Install Builder might came over with Bitnami, right? Because Bitnami does application distribution, and I think Install Builder might have come over with that or as part of that collection of offerings. But yeah, Install Builder, we brought that community over a couple days ago, or I worked on it. We also worked on some other things over the weekend to clean that up, and I think we're like 95% clean and good. And the indexing is now done with the site, so the site is now at full performance. We're not bogged down with indexing lots of all the gigabytes of content we have over there. And so the pages load now in about 2 seconds or less. So if you go into a community forum now, the forms load in a half a second to a second on the pages. At least that's in the US. I believe that I've heard good news out of Europe as well, that the pages are loading in the 2 second range. And so that's from the old VMTN community forums. They would take about 20 seconds in Europe to load, right? And in some cases, when you were editing documents, you could wait 2 minutes for content to be refreshed on your screen. I can't believe that it was that slow, but it had gotten that bad in some of the European destinations. So we're very happy about that. So it's going well, and we're wrapping that up, and the coffee shops are up, and we're getting owners for coffee shops, and the owners are starting to engage. This is really focused on technology, so the communities are focused on the products, right? So Michael Roy has his desktop hypervisor, Fusion and Workstation. We'll talk a little bit about Fusion and Workstation and Fusion Workstation Pro coming up for Black Friday, which is the topic of our conversations. So Matt, that's the status of VMTN. Thanks for asking.
Sure. Great to hear. Good progress.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good for the end of the year. I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm looking forward to spending a lot more time on VMTN. In fact, that is my 2021 plan, is to spend a lot of time just building out the coffee houses, collecting content and sharing content, which is getting me back to the old bulletin board days where you had to upload one thing to download 10 things. I loved that model. I wish I could apply it everywhere in life. Yeah.
Ratios.
Give 10% and get 100%. So, all right, moving on to, what should we do first? Should we do Black Friday or Carbon Black? I think Black Friday.
Let's get into all things Black Friday and the sale that might be going on here shortly.
All right. So let's talk about Black Friday. Black Friday is the buying Friday after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So if you're listening to this podcast live, today is Wednesday, November 25th. Thursday is Thanksgiving in the U.S. That's November 26th. And the idea of Black Friday was November 27th. Was the day that everybody went shopping, because in the United States, Thursday is Thanksgiving and Friday is always a holiday, right? Because everybody takes Thursday and Friday off, makes it a long weekend. And so a lot of people, once Thanksgiving is over in the U.S., that officially starts Christmas season. So it's kind of boorish to put up your Christmas tree before Thanksgiving, but then after Thanksgiving, all bets are off and you can go put up your Christmas tree, put up your Christmas lights, start to celebrate, start doing your shopping. So Black Friday is that kickoff of shopping. So Matt, what is Black Friday? I think all the tech companies have gotten involved because online shopping is now a thing. So tech companies have also started to do Black Friday. So VMware is doing Black Friday. What do you think we're going to do?
Well, from what I can see, it looks like there's going to be some significant discounts for both Fusion and Workstation. And then the Fusion Player and Workstation, Fusion Player and Workstation Player editions, and then Fusion and Workstation Pro editions as well. 30% off, it looks like here, that we're going to have on the site for Friday.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're not allowed to say this because it's supposed to be a big sale that's supposed to go out. I'm not sure how much of this, so don't go tweeting this out yet, but just go get yourself a Fusion Player or a Workstation Player, which I think is going from $199 down to $149 is the current price for Fusion Player, and Workstation Player is normally $149. So both of those are $149 according to Michael Roy, and then a promotion price you can expect 20 to 30% off on those guys. So I don't think I should name the promotion price, but you can expect to go in there. And that promotion, I think, is going to run from Friday until 12/4, which I don't know what day. What's the calendar date for 12/4?
Well, 12/4 would be the following following Friday. So a week from the 27th.
Right. So
that following Friday.
One big week of Friday, right? Which is good. And then Fusion Pro and Workstation Pro also is part of that. It lists price for $199 for a Fusion Pro or Workstation Pro license. They equaled up those prices on both Fusion and Workstation Pro now. So it's $199. And I know that they're talking another 25% off. So maybe down to like $149.99 or something like that, which is also a nice price to have. So if you need to get your license up to date and going for another year or two, depending on how often you upgrade, this is the time to do it, because Black Friday is happening. You get automatic discount, and it's hard to get those licenses nowadays, right? Michael Roy and crew are like, hey, it's you can go get this stuff for $150. I don't need to be giving out that many free Workstation and Fusion cards, right? Like they're
and of course, someone might be listening along that's a V expert or someone that has VMUG Advantage and say, well, why should I care about that? Well, I believe these are full tilt commercial licenses. Yes. Whereas with the V expert licenses and anything that you would have from the VMUG Advantage, obviously, would be for home use, non-production environments. These are a full tilt commercial license that you could use in a commercial setting with the support to go along with it at a significant discount.
Yep. And the other thing I would say is if you're a lover of these products, if you really do love these products, VMware is a business, right? And that engineering team and the resources that get applied to that product, it's all based on sales, right? So if you actually do buy a license, you are supporting the product team and the product effort and showing VMware that this is an important product to you. So that's also a good thing. And also note that they have solidified that the whole backend infrastructure on Workstation and Fusion is based on the vSphere engine. So you can expect full VMDK compatibility between your Workstation and Fusion products and your vSphere products. So that's kind of cool. And then they've also done some really nice integration to Kubernetes so that you can actually use Workstation and Fusion as kind of a Kubernetes.
Sure, on the Pro line, if you wanted to do your own Kubernetes cluster and start to do, dive into all of that, whether it's just local testing or trying to learn things, all things containers and whatnot, full functionality there in the Pro versions. We did an episode, Eric. We had Michael Royal, and I think it was episode number 525, just here within the last 2 months. So that if you're sitting there and you're listening along and going, "Hey, I have Fusion 10. Why should I upgrade? What are the new feature sets? What's out there?" We did the community podcast with Michael Roy, who I believe is the product manager for all things Workstation and Fusion. So I'd encourage listeners to go out there and either look at the V Barbecue YouTube channel or search for community podcast number 525.
Yeah, you can go to vmw.re/pod, vmw.re/pod, and you'll see all our episodes, and just go to that episode and give it a listen. Definitely worth it. Now, all right, so that's Black Friday, which is like a week-long Friday, which is interesting. Then the other historical thing that has happened, and I don't know the history of Cyber Monday, right? Like Cyber Monday is like another timeline, and Cyber Monday, I think.
Well, if you're out shopping, right? So you're doing the physical thing on traditionally in person, which obviously this has changed throughout the years, but the e-tailers at the time would need to be able to have people at the keyboards. So that they were probably fighting and competing for sales, were they not? So that they waited through the weekend, got all the physical in-person buying out of the way, and then started their own thing the following Monday.
Got it. So if you were you had done your shopping, but the e-tailers wanted into the mix, they created Cyber Monday, which is
why compete against the big box retailers at the time that this had started, right? I mean. Right. But now, obviously, they're competing and beating and putting them out of business. So the whole Cyber Monday thing has shifted around a little bit. But I think that's where some of the origins had started.
That's the origins. And then Cyber Monday is actually kind of interesting in that we are going to do some sales on Cyber Monday, which I think actually starts on Friday, right? So even though Cyber Monday is a Cyber Monday sale, I think they're actually going to start it on 11/29. So I think they're going to call it Cyber Week, and they're kind of merging, or at least VMware is merging the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday stuff all together. It's going to start on the 29th, but here's the catch. The Cyber Monday sales are going to be per day. So you're going to have to come in and look for the sales on each day. And I have a list of the sales, and I have the days that they're going to be running. And I know that there's a specific sale on 11/29, right? Which might have
that's Sunday, this coming Sunday.
Oh, is that Sunday? 11/29.
Yes.
Sunday. Got it. Okay, sorry, I'm wrong on that. So 11/29. Oh yeah, Cyber Week. Yep. 11/29. There is going to be a sale, and all I can say is that it has the word vSphere in it, right? And that's about all I can probably say. So there will be a sale on 11/29. It will have the word vSphere in it. So if you're running vSphere unlicensed and you think you might have a production reason to go buy a vSphere license, and I currently have this use case where I get the free licenses because we're part of the vExpert program, but then I actually want to do kind of a cool project, which is no longer just a free thing. I might actually be running some production servers on it, right? Small ideas, things like that. But I actually want to have some production environment where I'm officially licensed. This is a moment where you might want to go save some real money. In fact, I'm looking at prices, and essentially, you're getting a pretty big discount to where this kind of a vSphere offering could be, in the $400 range, right? Which is, affordable for everybody. So that's actually a deal. You have to go look on Cyber Monday, 11/29 for a deal there. 11/30. There's going to be another deal. Do you want to, what do we say about that deal? 20% off some particular courses that might be useful for the vSphere purchase you made the day before, right? So that's kind of cool, don't you think?
I would think so. And we're directing people. Where's the best place for them to look at all these sales?
It is the store.
Store.vmware.com?
Yeah, I think so. I should go look for that, make sure that's the case. But I believe it is store.vmware.com. It is on the store, but I don't know if it's store.vmware.
I actually see that right now. If I'm on store.vmware.com, I see that the 30% sale for Fusion 12 and Workstation 16 is now live.
Very good. So perfect timing coming into the holiday season. You're right. It is store.vmware.com will redirect to store-us.vmware.com. So it gives you a storefront for your particular country. But it is store.vmware.com. You go there and it'll redirect to your correct country, depending on your language settings. And they are live. And they also
heard some core things about vSphere. We've heard some about maybe some learning opportunities. What else might be out there for the Cyber Week?
For the Cyber Week. Okay, so I'm moving on. So what were we on? We were on 11/30. So 12/1. There is a bigger vSphere offering. I can't tell you which offering or what the price is, but there is a discount on what I would call the next level of vSphere. So again, sales on vSphere, right? So if you've got that need to have your own in a production environment and you want to pick up a license, again, this is something that you can deal. It's a deal. You're going to save some amount of money, which is good. So that's on 12/1. And let me just flip back to classes and some discount on classes that are out there. I did, as part of the VMTN upgrade, I did have to work last weekend building out the VMware instructor community that literally has, I think, 2,000 classes that are available for vSphere, and we had to manually move them because they didn't move. All the classes didn't move correctly. We had to move the major forms, which were a couple hundred. It took all weekend to get that done. But what I would say is I'm super impressed with the number of classes they actually have out there, right? So shout out to the install, configure, deploy classes that are out there. There is some fast track classes that learns various things, networking classes, security classes, enterprise management classes. I'm super impressed. Like I forget that these classes are out there, and if you can get a good deal on a class, I would say it's a great way to set yourself up to get your VCP certification, right? Learn stuff, go through. One of the things I'm talking to my wife about is that the hard thing about classes is not finding the material. The hard thing about classes is to allocate the time you need to do the class, right? Where you have to set aside, 4 days to do the class. But by purchasing a class and going through a structured learning environment, it does force you to sit down and do the class, right? Matt, have you ever experienced that?
Absolutely. I mean, I've just gone through some latest revisions of the DTM track, and if you're making that investment for yourself, especially with some of the on-demand training, it allows you to go through and set your own pace. Yes, you need to set aside the time, but you get to pick when that time is through your workday. So it's a great investment in yourself and to continue on your career path. Yep.
So discounts on these classes, and honestly, these classes are affordable. And especially if you can expense them to your work, that's even better. But I would say that they're under $1,000 for these type of classes when you start adding discounts to things. So nice, good, solid way to learn and keep sharp. I gotta say, after going through the material, I just want to go sit down and do some of these classes, right? Because I think it's the last official class I took was vSphere Infrastructure 3, which wasn't even called vSphere. It was called VMware Infrastructure 3, where I took the classes and got my VCP certification. But it's been that long since I've actually sat down and consumed education. So for me, I'm excited about the idea of maybe getting back to that. So that's Cyber Monday. Again, you got to go to the site, look at what they're offering on every day. That was 12.3, and then 12.4. Looks like some great discounts on networking stuff, right? So that's about all I can say there, right? So again, Cyber Week. Do a shout out to everybody that's listening that go check out the store.vmware.com if you're interested in spending a little time learning, right? And make some purchases. I don't know if you can get a ribbon and give it to anybody on Christmas, right? That'd be interesting. Like a Christmas gift, a Fusion Pro license for your best mate. That would be awesome.
Why not?
Why not? What if they do gift cards on the store, right? That'd be interesting. Right? Like, buy a gift card. I wonder if you get a license key when you buy it, then you can just mail your buddy a license key saying Merry
If
Christmas.
they don't, they should.
Yeah, they should. They should. All right, moving on to the next topic. I know that we've just been rambling here, but there is another Carbon Black trial that's going on that we'll be promoting for the next, I think, 25 days. So the summary is Carbon Black, right? So Carbon Black does a product that helps you secure your VMs, and they are going to be running a discount program, a free program that you can sign up to get the product. Matt, I don't know if you know much about the product, but I know they got a promotion going on where it's going to be free, and then you're going to be able to use this all the way through April, right? Something like that.
All right. So this is for their cloud workload bundles, and within that, it is a let's call it a trial license of their workload essentials bundle. So lots of use cases here. Somewhat odd to install otherwise, unless there's usually a 30-day trial out there, but this is an extended trial. So the multiple use cases here. This could be for someone that, the V expert, the VMUG leader, someone that's new to the security offering that is all things Carbon Black, that just wants to gain some experience, whether that be for a home lab or a smaller deployment. This is a great opportunity for an extended trial of, again, the Workload Essentials Cloud Workload Bundle. But you do need to sign up for it no later than the 22nd of the coming month, of the 22nd of December. And then you would be entitled to a trial license from then until April.
This is significant from a standpoint of this is a SaaS service, right? And I think it's been difficult for vExperts and other people to get licenses for SaaS services, right? Because SaaS services come with a cost, right? Weirdly,
or a limited trial, right?
Right.
Most of the SaaS programs that we have out there that do have a 30-day trial available, which is great. But if you want to really, you're not signing up for the trial all over again and doing a reinstall and new licensing keys and just trying to learn the product, here's a great opportunity to get some more hands-on experience without having to go through and then sign up for that next big, iteration and trial and the reinstall and whatnot.
Right. So really you get a 5-month trial of the product to get to go learn. And me and Corey have talked about this over and over that any of our SaaS products that are now up, and we acquire these products, they have a really interesting SaaS product, but we can't give it to vExperts because you need a trial. And the only trials they generally run are these little 30-day trials. And for a long time, there were no trials of SaaS products. And so basically, unless you wanted to go purchase a license, and then, they charge you per day or per hour used or whatever, there was no really way to bring up your speeds, if your knowledge around the product, so that if you want to blog about it or engage, there were no solutions. And so we've been pressing the business units to actually put together these type of trials for vExperts and other bloggers and people that want to just learn about products, that this is a way to go do this, where it's a SaaS service. It does cost the marketing BU or the BU themselves that are running these, it does cost them money. They have to pay for cloud services, right? To launch these things, have licenses. There's a cost to every single one they give out. But then it's an investment in our community and the vExperts to be able to offer these things and allow vExperts to go download and be a part of it. And so if you're listening to this podcast, I would recommend that you go sign up for this between now and December 20. What's the date? December 20?
December 22nd.
Right. Please go sign up for this and go play with it, because it will show the BUs that, hey, if you run these longer term licensing, SaaS service licensing programs, that'll give our community time to go learn, play with the product, and then, talk about it or be knowledgeable about it or be able to recommend it. And they're going to look at this. There's actually, when we're doing the Twitter promotion, if you see it on Twitter or you see it on our websites, it's going to be on VMTN on the vSphere page. There's a blog about it. If you go use those links to sign up, it will track that, and it'll showcase how many people came through community or through these landing sites. But then they can do some analysis to see, okay, do we run these more often? I've been pushing them for 6 months, so that somebody that's interested in the product, want to learn about it and get it on their resume without needing to go take a $1,000 course, can go sign up for a trial and give it a run. So that one is absolutely running. When we talk about security and VM, do we know what they're doing in this space?
So vulnerability management, and especially within this workload essentials package, we have audit and remediation. We have the workload inventory, lifecycle management from there. You have a vCenter plugin that goes with it as well, and it's totally agentless. So this is truly the modern new AV and security endpoint management that we have been pushing since the Carbon Black acquisition. So this is the new security model moving forward. This would be for on-prem cloud workloads, traditional things that would be backed by an OS, and then everything within the container space as well. So this is truly the model moving forward of what the company as a whole is positioning themselves within the security suite.
Perfect. Yep. So that's the idea, and it is one of our core businesses. So if you look at VMware's core businesses, we have compute and storage and networking. We have, Horizon desktop. We've got cloud native apps, and then we have network. Network is actually a separate one, and then we have security. So these 5 pillars are the key pillars of VMware's core products. And so a lot of us have, spent time with VMware security, but this is the ability to do this security model where you're looking underneath the hypervisor, everything that's going on, and securing everything above that, which we've talked about in the past. And then we should also, do a shout out to the Carbon Black team for doing this and running it. And where can people go? Where do we send them to go?
So this is carbonblack.com, and I believe right there off of the Carbon Black lead-in page, there is the sign up. Yeah, sure. It's front and center, free trial. So carbonblack.com, right there in the middle, free trial, and that will take you to the Workloads Essentials bundle. You do need to sign up, as we said, by the end of next month, and then that will get you a full license through, or a trial license rather, through the end of April. April 30th, the demo will end.
Very good. Very good. Well,
hopefully we can have some of the folks on from Carbon Black again in a future episode, so that we can dive deep into what the bundles are, some of the new developments that are available and out there in the suite, and really get into this and talk about some of the advantages and how they would want to do a demo, or how we should set up from a home lab perspective, or where's training resources and whatnot. This is a great opportunity. It's not a reason for someone to hold off on signing up. Get signed up, play around with it, and then stay tuned for some coming episodes that we can dive deep on and get into all the details of it.
I know the product team, we've got them scheduled to come on before the end of the trial. So in a couple weeks, I think we've pushed the networking podcast till next week with Martin Smith, who's going to come and talk about his blog on networking and just kind of follow up with the modern networking event. But then after that, I think we're going to have the marketing team and tech team come in and just talk about the offering a little bit deeper. But we wanted to bundle up the offerings.
Absolutely. You need to get signed up. Don't wait for the specific episode. Sign up now.
Yep.
Get used to the UI. Figure out what you need to do to get it installed in for your particular environment, and then stay tuned for the details episode coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, if you get it and you come in, you can join us on TalkShoe and chat with us and ask us some questions in real time if you want to, because we always have the real time chat open on TalkShoe, so you can come in and ask questions. If the live stream on YouTube, youtube.com/VBarbecue, BARBUCE, I think it is, or something like that, VBarbecue. Go check that out.
BARBECUE. Yes.
Oh, there you go. Right. We have chat there as well, and Julia Klaus, it's live streaming there. She also watches the chat, and she can put it in our StreamYard.com live stream chat window. We also have the TalkShoe chat window. So if you're over on just the audio portion of the show, you can do that. Give us questions, and we'll ask the Carbon Block team as well. So I'm excited about that. I kind of want to push the company to offer more and more cloud services, SaaS services, free trials. One of these days we'll get free trials for the whole year for vExperts. It's kind of expensive because it's a per month.
Again, these services don't come free, right? Sure, yeah. There's a cost to it. We hear that often as a feedback that from some of the vExperts of, I wish we could have a free license or an extended trial with that. And I think that there has to be some realization that these services, being SaaS based, don't just to magically appear out of thin air, that there's significant costs involved in running extended demos, which is great to see that the Carbon Black is and that team and the marketing for folks there have stepped up the bat and offered this great extended trial.
Yep. Good for them. So again, business. This is almost like the business podcast of discounts and sales and stuff to do for the holiday. I would like to get a few more things to do for the holiday. We're going to talk about the Raspberry Pi and ESX on ARM Fling that's out there that you can run on the Raspberry Pi 4. We're going to get to that before the end.
I saw William Lamb had just traded out this week over 10,000 downloads for ESXi on ARM. Now, just in the short time that's been released, that 10,000 downloads was just reached here within the last couple of days. So congrats to him and the team on that. That's taking off and seems to be a high adoption rate, and lots of, I'm sure, will be unique and interesting use cases coming out of that Fling.
It's just a lot of fun, right? You can get these little Raspberry Pi 4 ARM, for $50. So it's an easy way to go play with virtualization if you're just looking for a fun project to do. So fun software, fun projects. Get the holiday season, you get a little downtime. You can go spend your time doing that. And as a community guy, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go play on VMTN and build out some of the coffee houses and start sharing some more of this cool content that's out there that never gets shared, never gets aggregated up. So maybe we'll do an episode here, talk about that. But again, coming into the season where it's fun to go hack on things. So go get your updated license for Fusion. Go listen to our Fusion podcast with Michael Roy. What did we say, 525? Go listen.
526, I believe we should be searching for. No, I'm wrong. You were right, sir. 525. Workstation and Fusion 12.
Right.
VMware Community Podcast you should be searching for, or the link that we had talked about, vme.re/pod.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of fun. And then the cyber sale is fun because you can get this for, pretty cheap, and then you can go play with that, have a current version, and you're in business. Go get yourself.
Take advantage of some of those learning opportunities that might be out there, some learning discounts.
Yep, discounts on learning is always great, especially as we've come into vSphere 7, where you do have Kubernetes. There is a lot to learn, right? There is a lot to learn. Spherelets, how to manage Kubernetes workload, YAML configuration files. All of this stuff is stuff that you're going to need to learn. And it is, a new game in town, right? And there's a lot to learn with that. And so this is a moment where it's not just some extra features in vSphere. This is like a new paradigm, right, on how to run apps. And so I would say that definitely, I haven't done education since VI3. I am going to sign up for the vSphere 7 education series, and they have a nice set of courses there that you can go sign up for, and there is going to be discount on these courses, so go check that out. And
a lot of people stuck at home, a lot of people looking for alternative things to do. Why not improve your career? Why not learn a new skill that's going to directly apply to the future of what is the current VI admin, with all things containers, all things Kubernetes, or whatever business track that you're in. Carbon Black, we talked about Carbon Black security. There's EUC courses out there. Anything within the VMware product suite, obviously there's training material out there for. Go and pick whatever your interest is and sign up for that course and get some training in.
Now, I would say that we don't sound like a community podcast, right? Because we're spending time talking about discounts on things you can buy. But I would say that you need software to be able to do these kind of fun things. And I would say that Michael Roy's podcast really enlightened me on how to build some apps and how to have fun. So there's two elements to these. If you really look at these Black Friday sales, one is we're giving you a discount on a very cheap vSphere. Right. And I can't say specifically, but you can guess. And then we're also giving you discounts on the education you're going to need in order to use that new version of vSphere. Right. And so this is a way that, you can, get something up to date, get licenses for it, get trained on it, and set yourself up for a great. And talking about earnings, one of the big pieces that they talked about why VMware did well on earnings and why we're looking good to the future is that it is Kubernetes on vSphere 7, right? That's setting up our framework. It's two elements. One is hybrid cloud environments. We're a leader in hybrid cloud, right? On-prem and off-prem management and delivery of virtual services. But then also it's also the Kubernetes modern apps, that whole framework where all of a sudden you just flip a switch, upgrade to 7, and you've got Kubernetes, right, throughout your data center. So again, a great transition. The earnings call and the analysts, if you look at them, we're actually saying that they're bullish on VMware because of where we're setting going into next year with these new technologies. So, and then don't forget there is some discounts on Horizon and NSX, some of the networking stuff that's out there that I think is on 12.4 for Cyber Monday that week. So watch out for some discounts. Tell your friends, buy a Christmas present, whatever. I don't know. Have fun. Learn.
Send a gift card if it's available.
Yeah, do some fun learning. That's what I'm about. And then come back to VMTN and share it. Write a blog about it. Be part of the V community and set the tone for next year. And everybody will be happy. And don't forget to do your vExpert application. I know we've been running for an hour now. I think we got a late start recording of maybe 10 minutes. So we're probably at 50 minutes here, Matt. But before we do that, Matt, I hope that you have a good Thanksgiving and get a little bit of relaxation time in what has been a crazy year.
And same to you, Eric, and same to the community as well. This has been a stressful and interesting year. I will say that there people have gone through job changes. People have gone through obviously the health concerns that are out there, and just the overall the bearing of this year. And I think that to take a couple of days and just to be thankful for the situation that everyone is in, that even though that everything that's going on, that being what it is, to take it back to what you had said at the beginning is that we're upright and we're employed. So
That's right.
I have that to be thankful for, and that's all that you can ask for at this point.
I think that's what Steve Jobs said when he got his liver transplant, and he went to one of the shows to announce like the iPad or something, and he goes, "Let me tell you, it's good to be vertical." And I gotta say, that's the idea. You don't want to be
much as you can wish for right now.
You just want to stay vertical, be happy, enjoy yourself, geek out. I got to say that I set up an old Xbox 360, right, and got Black Ops, which is the Black Ops 1 series, and went off and played that. And there's a lot of people still in there playing, and man, that was fun. I got some time yesterday to go do that and have a little downtime and play some old video games. Got to say, there still is happy times out there in life, right? You got to just turn off the stress.
Just have to go find them.
Go kill some virtual people online. That's my fun. Having a good time. V barbecue report. Last thing we'll follow up with before we head off to the holiday. V barbecue. I am going to barbecue a small turkey, so I am going to smoke it. So I'm going to do a 3.5 to 4 hour smoke tomorrow, right? Cook it and smoke it at the same time, and we'll see how it turns out, right? Because it's a little bit of fun to do that. Just gonna line the charcoal around the very outside edges in a double briquette row that goes all around my Kingsford barbecue, and then you light it on one end, and it just burns the charcoals all the way around. So it takes like 4 hours for those charcoals to burn, and it stays kind of hot inside. It cooks the turkey, it bakes it, but it also smokes it, right? So we got charcoal with a little mesquite wood pellets, and that goes through. I'm not a pellet guy. I use briquettes, right? But it can be a 4 hour cook on it's not a very big turkey. It's like a 15-pound per turkey. But we're going to do that, see how it turns out. And then my wife is going to make a traditional turkey in case I completely screw up, which is more than likely. But
you have a prod turkey and you have a DR turkey.
That's right. Yeah. Prod and yeah. Exactly. A staged turkey or a migration.
True tech man.
Yeah, there you go. Matt, thanks for coming day before Thanksgiving just to talk about the sales and encourage everybody to go out and have some fun. And I hope you have a nice weekend.
Same to you, sir. Same to everyone out there. We wish them well and we wish them peace. And we will be back next week with Martin Schmidt and all things modern networking.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Matt. Talk to you later.
Thank you.